The House will come to order. All members take their seats. All guests, please clear the aisle. The clerk will unlock the machine. All members record their presence by pressing the green button. Any members, please take your seats. Please hit the green button. Thank you. Any member present not yet recorded? Last call. Clerk, please lock the machine. There are 57 members present. There is a quorum. All rise for the invocation to be given by Chairwoman Grace Diaz, who will also lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Chairwoman Diaz.
Don't worry. Dear Lord, as we finish Black History Month, let us remember that the history does not end. The economy and social contributions of African Americans have had a tremendous impact throughout the Americas and the Caribbean. This month is an opportunity to better educate ourselves and our children in true Black history. Let us always be mindful that by honoring Black history, we honor all Americans. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the
flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Next order of business is the approval of the journal. Is there any objection to the approval of the journal the previous day? Hearing none, so ordered. Communications. Clerk, do we have any communications? Yes. Please read them, please.
Representative Alex Marzakowski is unable to attend session today, Tuesday, March 16, 2021.
Thank you. Please place on file. Thank you. Committee reports. Are there any committee reports? Next order of business is new business. Is there any new business? Chairwoman Ruggiero with new business. Representative Caldwell with new business. Representative Shawcross-Smith with new business. Representative Knight with new business. Whip Kazarian with new business. Chairman Solomon with new business. Representative Batista with new business. Representative Speakman, do you have new business? No, I'm sorry, okay. Anybody else with new business? We can come back to new business. The clerk will be right around to collect it, and you can also drop it off in the box in front of the stage. Thank you. Next order of business is the calendar. Clerk, please read the first item, but before you do that, I think Lita Blazajewski, do we have a consent calendar today?
Yes, we do, Mr. Speaker, and I move the consent calendar.
Thank you. Lita Blazajewski moves today's consent calendar. Is that seconded by Lita Filippi? Lita Filippi seconds today's consent calendar. All those in favor? Aye. Do we do a machine vote on that consent calendar? Mike, do we do a machine vote? Yes. Okay, we're going to do a machine vote. Clerk, please unlock the machine. All those affirmative on today's consent calendar, please vote green. And the negative, please vote red. Thank you. There are 58 in the negative, 59 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The consent calendar is passed. Thank you. Clerk, please read the first item on today's regular calendar.
Item number 1, House 5203.
Chairman Solomon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. House Bill 5203 by Representative Phillips would permit the Department of Motor Vehicles to suspend the registration privileges of motor carriers upon receipt of notice from the Department of Labor and Training that the motor carrier has not secured workers' compensation insurance as required by the law. It's a good bill and I move passage.
Chairman Solomon moves passage. Is there a second? Seconded by Leader Blazajewski. Any other seconds? Representative Cortravan, Chairwoman McEntee, Representative Hawkins, Representative Phillips seconds, Representative Cardillo, Chairman Craven. Clerk will please, there are no other lights. Clerk, please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blazajewski, any proxies, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 1 from Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzukowski, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi, any proxies, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 1 from Representative Roberts and Representative Quattrochi. And also, Mr. Speaker, I think I missed it on the consent calendar. I have a vote in affirmative via proxy by Representative Quattrochi.
Thank you. I don't think we're doing proxies for consent. If we are, then we'll record it.
Thank you, Speaker.
Everyone still voted. There are 71. Clerk, please lock the machine. 71 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docket item, please.
Item number 2, House 5507.
Chairman Solomon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 5507 by Whip Kazarian would vacate the forfeiture or revocation of the charter of MC Souza Trucking and Excavation Incorporated. I move passage.
Chairman Solomon moves passage. Seconded by Leader Blazajewski. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in the favor, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blazajewski, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 2 from Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzukowski, Rep. Ringland-Vassell, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. Leader Filippi.
Same request on behalf of Representative Quattrochi and Representative Roberts, please.
Thank you. Clerk, please lock the machine. There's 72 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docketed item, please.
Item number 3, House 5906.
Chairman Solomon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 5906 by Representative Norrie would vacate the forfeiture or revocation of the charter of Warwick Neck Avenue Incorporated. I move passage.
Chairman Solomon moves passage. Seconded by Leader Blazajewski. There are no other lights. Clerk, please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, vote red. Leader Blazajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 3 from Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzukowski, Rep. Ringland-Vassell, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request for Representative Quattrochi and Representative Roberts.
Thank you. Clerk, please lock the machine. 72 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docketed item, please.
Item number 4, House 5079.
Chairman McNamara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 5079 by myself would allow school districts to request or accept a donation from a student or the student's parents or legal guardian in whole or in part for the cost of district-sponsored field trips, provided that the district would pay the cost to meet any deficit that may remain after the raising of funds has been concluded. This is legislation that has been worked out over 2 years with the ACLU, Rhode Island Legal Services, the Rhode Island Department of Education, the superintendents, and it ensures that no student will be left behind. It further ensures that confidentiality will be in place so no student will be discriminated against. I move passage.
Chairman McNamara moves passage. Seconded by Leader Blazajewski. Representative Phillips, seconding also. Representative Carson, Chairwoman McEntee, Deputy Whip Ackerman. Representative Speakman, Representative Amore, Representative Norrie, Representative Morales, Representative Bia, Representative Donovan, Chairman Azanaro, Representative Casimiro, Chairman Bennett, Chairwoman Fogarty, Representative McLaughlin, Chairman Hull, Representative Falella, Chairman Casey, Chairman Solomon, Representative Steve Lima, Whip Kazarian, Representative Alzate, Representative Barrows, Representative Messier, Representative Magor, Representative Agello, and Representative Cardillo. There are no other lights. Clerk, please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blazajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 4 from Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzakowski, Rep. Ranglin-Vassell, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Speaker. Same request for Representatives Quattrochi and Roberts.
Thank you. Clerk, please lock the machine. There are 74 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Clerk, next docketed item, please.
Item number 5, House 5534.
Chairman Abney.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Item number 5534 comes from Chairwoman Diaz, and it authorizes Providence to issue up to $140 million in school bonds. I move passage.
Chairman Abney moves passage, seconded by Leader Filippi. And Chairman Bennett, Representative Slater, Chairman Hull, Representative Bia, Representative Amore, Representative Perez, Chairwoman Williams, Representative Azanaro, Representative Cortravan, Representative McLaughlin, Representative Barrows, and Chairman Casey. There are no other lights. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blazajewski, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 5 from Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzakowski, Rep. Ranglin-Vassell, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request for Representatives Quattrochi and Roberts.
Thank you. Clerk, please lock the machine. There are 72 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Thank you. Next docketed item, please, Clerk.
Item number 6, House 5431.
Chairman Casey.
Thank you, Speaker. House Bill 5431 comes from us from Representative Ackerman. It is the Restroom Access Act. It would require retail establishments with 3 or more employees on the premises without immediate accessible public restroom facilities to allow customers suffering from eligible medical conditions access to their employee restroom upon presentation of documentation by a licensed physician. This is a great bill. The Health and Human Services Committee passed unanimously. I move passage.
Chairman Casey moves passage. Seconded by Leader Blazajewski, Deputy Whip Ackerman. Representative Amore, Representative Speakman, Representative Norrie, Representative Vella Wilkinson, Representative Morales, Representative Bia, Chairman Abney, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Chairman Azanaro, Representative Cortravan, Chairman Craven, Speaker Pro Tem Kennedy, Representative Kazar, Representative Shawcross Smith, Representative McLaughlin, Representative McNamara, Chairman Bennett, Representative Casimiro, Representative Stephen Lima, Representative Felix, Representative Potter, Representative Barrows, Representative Falella, Representative Messia, and Chairman Hull. There are no other lights. Will the clerk please unlock the machine? All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blazajewski. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Representative, I didn't see it, so clerk, please clear the board. Representative Carson, I'm sorry. I didn't see it. It wasn't lit.
Thank you, Speaker. I support the bill. I have no problem with it, but I have a few quick questions for the chair or the sponsor, whoever wants to take it.
Chairman Casey or Deputy Whip Ackerman? Will you yield for a question? Chairman Casey will yield.
Thank you very much. Maybe I didn't see it in the bill, but I have two questions. The first one is, how will people know that they have this ability to use these restrooms? Like, how would I know that if I have some kind of disability? And then the second is, what is the identification that they will use to verify? They have to get a doctor's note, is that right? So how would I know to get a doctor's note so I can use a bathroom?
That's a very good question. Representative Ackerman, I believe, is going to be working on that. If you'd like to respond.
It's pretty much, how does anybody know how any of the new laws come into effect? If you have that as an issue, you usually will find out from your doctor that this is something that is available to you. So if you have a doctor's note, you're good to go. Literally.
There are no other lights. Does anybody else want to speak?
Representative Chippendale.
Representative Chippendale. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. While I will not get nearly as involved as I did 2 years ago when this bill was first introduced, to answer the question, those of us who fall under the qualifications of this bill where we would need to be able to take advantage of this law, it is the foremost thing on our minds when we walk into a public building. It's the foremost thing in our minds when we leave our house. It is our foremost thing when we leave our minds anywhere except in the confines of the four walls in which we call our castle. So as to the question, how would that person know or move forward, I assure you, we know. We know very well. We carry changes of clothes in the trunks of our car because we know very well. It's not a big deal to simply ask whomever our doctor is, whether it's a gastroenterologist or whatever specialist we have, for a simple piece of documentation to get this certification or this priority for us. I can't stress enough how it may seem simple to someone who does not deal with this on a daily basis, but I cannot express enough to my colleagues how important this is to a person who suffers from any sort of inflammatory bowel disease to be able to have this access. It's something that some of us, those of us with Crohn's disease, call one another cronies. It's something that cronies don't even think about. It's a necessity. So, as far as folks learning about this new ability to utilize facilities when necessary, I assure you they're following this, and if they are not, they will be advised about the passage of this bill very, very quickly, and they will take advantage of it, because this is the type of thing that, frankly, while it's not comfortable for most people to talk about, clearly I don't give a crap about it, no pun intended. It's something that folks will not often speak about. I'm here to speak for them. This is imperative. We have to pass this. This is something that is so simple for most folks, for the normal folks around, but for us is so important. So I beg of you, which is really not my character, but I beg of you to pass this bill. Thank you. And thank you to the sponsor for putting it in.
Thank you, Whip Chippendale. Chairwoman Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Question to the sponsor or floor manager or somebody that can clarify my concerns, please.
Chairman, will you yield? He will yield for question.
The intent of this bill is certainly one that I would support. However, I need clarification on not me or the individual entering the business knowing that they have some sort of disability that can't be seen by anybody. I want to know, how is the business owner going to really be able to say, yeah, you're a crony, and yes, you can come in and use my facility, or else you will have an accident. Because if I gotta go, I gotta go, and I can certainly use that, I got a disability and you better let me use your facility or else. So I want the clarification, how is it that the business owner is going to assist you if in fact you really fall in that category of need?
Chairman Casey.
Chairwoman Williams, thank you for your question. There is a national foundation, the Crohn's Disease National Foundation, that I'm sure will put out a public service announcement to all of the small businesses or all businesses within the Rhode Island state that will allow for, that they will have to allow for this, this necessary usage, as I will say.
So is it that this bill is only specifically for those who have Crohn's disease, or they could have bladder problem as well? Because
that's correct. I believe it's going to cover any irritable bowel or any of those type of issues, inflammatory bowel issues.
again, so it stills for me is, if I don't have the cronies, but I got the PPs, how are you as the business owner going to believe, honey, you see this color? That's strike number 10. And with this mask, and I'm going to ask to use your facility, you have a concern, and I have someone with me, are you going to let me into your facility to use the bathroom? That's my concern about this bill.
Okay, this is going to be an identification card from a physician that shows that they have this condition, and that will allow them as a license to use the bathroom.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to, thank the Rep. Ackerman for putting this in. But I see there's areas of concern, in reference to the implementation, and I'm stating, I believe the Department of Health has control over, all our businesses in reference to restrooms, accommodations. It would be great if there could be added on enforcement by the Department of Health to actually have these things posted, in the businesses, or make the owners aware of the situations through documentation. So anyways, that's my only area of concern. It's a good bill, but I think it would be much more forceful. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi, and then Whip Chippendale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, there's always jerks that scam the system, and you see it every day with animals that are there for people who allegedly have disabilities, but in many cases you can go on the internet and buy those tags, but we don't have a movement to ban service animals because there's some people who abuse the system. You know, there's no perfect bill. Will there be people who maybe abuse this? Sure, but in the vast majority of circumstances, it's going to be applied appropriately. I own commercial space. This is something I'm going to have to comply with, and I'll do it gladly. So as one of the people in here who's going to be subject to this bill, I'm happy to vote for it. It's the right thing. If some people abuse it, you know, it happens every day, but we don't throw out the good because of the little bit of bad. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Leader. Whip Chippendale, please.
Thank you, Speaker. So certainly already in society we have situations where, and I hold a handicap placard which allows me to park in handicap spaces. I will pull into parking lots, sometimes even this parking lot, and there are cars that do not have handicap placards parked in the handicap spaces. And sure, that broils me, gets me a little mad, but it is what it is. I park wherever I can. People will violate whatever rule this body promulgates, whatever law we pass. There will always be that one person who doesn't care, and they will break that law or rule or regulation. We can't focus on the jerks of society. If we did, we'd have a full-time job in this building. We have to focus on taking care of the folks who need to be taken care of. In this particular case, for those few who would dare to use this as a mechanism to go tinkle, you know, they can deal with that. That's between them and their priest. I don't really care about them. What I care about is the people who need to use the restroom. The Department of Health oversees this. They can determine which medical conditions, diseases, however it's articulated in the statute as well as their regulations, and they can dictate from that point forward. Anybody in violation, they can of course deal with that as well. Let's not let jerks get in the way of doing the right thing for innocent people who just need help. Thank you.
Thank you, Whip Chippendale. There are no other lights. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative vote green. Any in the negative vote red. Leader Blazajewski. Clerk, please unlock the leader's mic. Thank you.
There we go. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 6 from Majority Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzakowski, Rep. Franklin-Vassell, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request for Representatives Quattrochi and Roberts, please.
Thank you. Chair, thank you. Clerk will please lock the machine. There are 72 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docketed item, please.
Item number 7, House 5092.
Chairman Craven.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill comes to us from Senior Deputy Majority Leader Falella. It's an act related to the Passive Voluntary Adoption of Mutual Consent Registry Act. It provides specifically that it directs the Department of Health to provide information regarding the Passive Voluntary Adoption Reunion Registry on the Department of Health's website and in the Division of Vital Records. This is the 3rd year we've passed this bill. It's a great bill. It's very compelling testimony from the folks that it impacts, and I wholeheartedly move passage.
Thank you. Chairman Craven moves passage, seconded by Leader Blazajewski, Chairman Abney, Representative Amore, Representative Phillips, Representative Caldwell, Representative Morales, Chairwoman McEntee, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Chairman Azanaro, Representative Cortravan, Representative Knight, Chairwoman Fogarty, Representative Agello, Deputy Whip Ackerman, Representative Donovan, Chairman Corvasi, Representative Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, Speaker Pro Tem Kennedy, Deputy Speaker Lima, Chairman Bennett, Chairwoman Diaz, Representative Cardillo, Representative Bia, Representative Carson, Representative Falella, Chairman McNamara, Representative Potter, Representative Stephen Lima, Representative Casimiro, Whip Kazarian, Representative Felix, Representative Barrows, Representative Messier, and Representative O'Brien, as well as Chairman Casey. There are no other lights. Clerk, please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, please vote red. Leader Blazajewski, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 7 from Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzakowski, Rep. Ringland-Vassell, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Speaker. Same request for Representatives Quattrochi and Roberts, please.
Thank you. Representative Price, are you going to vote, please? Thank you. Chairwoman Serpa, would you vote, please? Thank you. Clerk will please lock the machine. There are 75 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Next docket of item, please.
Item number 8, House 5025.
Chairman Hull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. H5025 comes to us through Representative Newberry. This act would allow North Smithfield historic residents owners to become eligible for historic tax credit. It's a good bill. I move passage.
Thank you. Chairman Hull moves passage. Seconded by Leader Blazajewski. Representative Carson, Representative Speakman, Representative Phillips, Representative O'Brien, Representative Morales, Chairman Abney, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Chairman Azanaro, Representative Agello, Chairman Corvasi, Representative Cardillo, Chairman Bennett, Chairman McNamara, Representative Newberry, Representative Lima, Whip Kazarian, Representative Messier, and Chairwoman Diaz. There are no other lights. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, vote red. I'm sorry, Representative Morales.
Yes.
Did you want to speak? I saw the light as a second. I'm sorry.
No worries. Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members of the House. I have just several concerns with this bill based on the information and lack of information presented during this bill's committee hearing in early February. If possible, I'd like to direct some questions to the sponsor.
Representative Newberry, will you yield? I take that as a yes.
I'll be happy to yield to the representative. Thank you.
Thank you. Proceed.
Thank you, Representative Newberry. Do we have an estimate on the fiscal impact this bill would have on the town of North Smithfield?
We do not have an estimate because until the bill is enacted, we wouldn't know what the town council would do. But that's really a decision to leave up to the town council.
Okay. And is there a public list of the membership of those who are members of the North Smithfield Local Historic District? Because in my research, I could not find the 7 individuals appointed to the board.
I suspect if you called our town hall and our clerk, they could give you that list.
Okay. And then just my last question. Do we have any idea what the median income for a resident who owns historic property is in the town of North Smithfield?
I have no idea. I'll leave that to my town council since that's what this is about.
Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Anyone else to speak? There are no other lights. Clerk will please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, vote red. Leader Blazajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 8 from Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzakowski, Rep. Ringland-Vassell, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request on behalf of Representatives Quattrochi and Price for this great local bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Representative Roberts as well. Representative Donovan, would you please vote? She's having technical difficulties. Clerk, please lock the machine. 73 in the affirmative, 2 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Thank you. Next docketed item.
Item number 9, House 5478.
Chairman Hull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill comes to us from Representative Azzanaro. The act would allow the town of Westerly to issue a Class B license for the premises located at 169, 177 Main Street. Despite the location within the proximity of the school, I move passage.
Chairman Hull moves passage, seconded by Leader Blazajewski. And Speaker Pro Tem Kennedy, Chairman Azzanaro, Representative Constantino, Representative Shawcross-Smith, Chairman Abney, Chairman McNamara, Chairman Casey, Representative Stephen Lima, Representative Casimiro, Representative Barrows, Leader Filippi, Representative Hawkins, Representative Vela Wilkinson, Representative Alzate, and Chairman Hull. Also seconds. Are there any lights to speak on the bill? There are no lights. Clerk, please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, vote red. Leader Blazajewski, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 9 from Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzakowski, Rep. Ringland Vassal, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Speaker. Same request for Representatives Quattrochi and Roberts. Thank you.
Thank you. Clerk, please lock the machine. Excuse me. I think Representative Rangel Vassal voted in the affirmative via proxy. I have it as a red light. I'm sorry?
Mr. Speaker, forgive me. Yes, on item number 9, Representative Vassal is a no on that vote. Thank you.
She's a no. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. 74 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Thank you. Next docketed item, please.
Item number 10, House 5821.
Chairman Hull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House 5821 comes to us from Representative Hawkins, validating and ratifying the 2020 amendments to the Home Rule Charter of the town of Smithfield. I move passage.
Chairman Hull moves passage, seconded by Leader Blazajewski and Representative Casimiro, Chairman Abney, Representative O'Brien, Representative Barrows, Chairman Azzanaro. I thought I said Constantino. Chairman Hull, Representative Phillips, Representative Constantino, Representative McLaughlin, Chairman Casey. There are any no lights? Clerk, please unlock the machine. All those in the affirmative, please vote green. Any in the negative, vote red. Leader Blazajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 10 from Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzakowski, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request on behalf of Representatives Quattrochi and Roberts, please.
Thank you. Thank you. 73 in the, clerk, please lock the machine. 74 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Clerk, could you please go to item number 12 on the calendar? Item number 12.
Item number 12, House 6108.
Thank you. Chairman Hull.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 6108 comes to us from Representative Kennedy. Authorize the town of Westerly to issue not to exceed $11 million general obligation bonds and notes and other devices indebtedness to finance in the construction of roads and sidewalks. It's a good bill. I move passage.
Chairman Hull moves passage. Seconded by Representative O'Brien, Representative Hawkins, Chairwoman Vela Wilkinson, Chairman Abney, Chairman Azzanaro, Speaker Pro Tem Kennedy, Chairwoman Ruggiero, Representative Cardillo, Leader Blazajewski, Chairwoman Diaz, Chairman Corvese, Representative McLaughlin, Chairman Hull, Representative Tanzi, Chairman McNamara, Chairman Casey, Representative Casimiro, Representative Barrows, Leader Filippi, and Representative Cortravan. Also Representative Stephen Lima as well. Any other seconds? Leader Blazajewski.
Mr. Speaker, I believe we call the vote first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Clerk, please lock the machine. All those in favor and affirmative vote green, and in the negative vote red. And now, Leader Blazajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 12 from Floor Manager Edwards, Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzakowski, Rep. Ringland Vassal, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you. And Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same requests on behalf of Representatives Quattrochi and Roberts, please.
Thank you. Representative Tanzi, please vote. Thank you. 75 in the clerk, lock the machine. 75 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Clerk, please go back to item number 11.
Item number 11, House 5952.
Thank you. That would be Chairwoman Fogarty.
Thank you, Speaker. This is House Bill 5952, which is a solemnization of marriage act from the Honorable John J. Edwards may join Kerry Christine Edwards and David Coletta in marriage within the city of Pawtucket, Rhode Island on or about October 23rd. It's a good piece of legislation. I ask that you all support.
Thank you. A happy young couple. They're going to be married by their father and father-in-law to be. Thank you. Chairwoman Fogarty moves passage. Is there a second? Seconded by Leader Blazajewski. And anybody have objections to say the entire House seconds the marriage? Thank you. The entire House seconds the marriage. All those in favor, please vote green. Clerk, unlock the machine. Any in the negative would vote red. Leader Blazajewski, any proxies, please?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 47 of the House Rules, I have proxy votes in favor of item number 11 from Rep. Lombardi, Rep. Marzakowski, Rep. Ringland Vassal, and Rep. Tabone. Thank you.
Thank you. Leader Filippi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request for Representative Quattrochi and Roberts, please.
Thank you. Representative Place, do you want to vote? Thank you. Clerk, please lock the machine. 74 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. The act shall prevail. Thank you. That concludes today's calendar. Next order of business is announcements and introductions. Let me please start by calling Chairman McNamara for his usual and customary announcement for St. Patrick's Day. Chairman McNamara.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the House, I have a resolution commemorating the celebration of St. Patrick's Day, and with agreement of both leaders, I would like to move passage, and then I have some comments, Mr. Speaker. So I move passage on the resolution.
And a resolution has been moved. Is there a second? Seconded by many others of the House. Proceed, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and ladies and gentlemen of the House. This has been an exciting session, and last week, when I left this chamber, one of our members was talking about the great achievements and inventions of African Americans. I went out to my car, put it in drive, and realized an African American had invented the automatic transmission. I went home, air conditioning, Mr. Speaker, African American inventor. Every day we learn something here, and we question sometimes our own heritage. The next day I came into this chamber, and a fellow Irish American, I asked them, "What have the Irish invented?" And they said, "Guinness." I said, "Guinness is a delightful beverage made in Dublin, renowned throughout the world, but it's not a great invention." They said, "Well, how about the great contributions to literature, James Joyce, the great Irish poets?" I said, "Hey, they've made tremendous contributions to the culture of the entire world, and literacy especially, but again, it's not a great invention." So, Mr. Speaker, I went home and studied and researched, and as a descendant of my grandmother immigrated from Cork, the city of Cork, Ireland, and became a maid for one of the wealthiest families in the United States in New York. And I know that she was not alone, because there's at least one other representative here whose grandmother came from Cork and was a maid in Newport. So I looked at an invention that would incorporate the culinary arts, Mr. Speaker, and a contribution in that area, a worthy invention. I found an invention that had been sent to the moon that every single student in the United States treasures, that's helped people across the world relating to the culinary arts. And I've written a limerick, which is the name of a city in Ireland, but a limerick relating to this invention, and it is entitled "The Maid from Cork." There once was a maid from Cork who couldn't tell a spoon from a fork. Then one day, in an amazing display, she invented the spork. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
Thank you, Chairman. I know that due to COVID you were briefed, and I know in the past that you have had long extended announcements. So I look forward to next year's, hopefully when we're back at the State House. Thank you, Chairman. Now we'll go to Chairman Corvasi to talk about St. Joseph's Day.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Speaker. Chairman McNamara is always a very hard act to follow, and he usually gets a few laughs. Me, I'm a little bit more on the somber side. Before I do anything else, I do have a House resolution commemorating the celebration of St. Joseph, which I'd like to pass along to you.
Please send it up.
Thank you. Regarding today's comments, carissimi amici, ladies and gentlemen of the House, it is my pleasure and honor to offer a few words in praise of St. Joseph's Day this afternoon. It is especially fortuitous since I will be offering these words this year, 2021, which Pope Francis has proclaimed the year of St. Joseph. As we all know, March 19th is the feast day of St. Joseph, the husband of Mary, the stepfather of our Lord Jesus Christ. A carpenter by trade, St. Joseph's early life as father and protector of Jesus is well known. What is less known is approximately when St. Joseph died, although it is speculated he passed before Jesus has started his ministry. St. Joseph is the patron saint of the family, of fathers, and of the working man and woman. As the patron saint of workers, in 1955, Pope Pius XII established an additional feast day honoring St. Joseph, the Feast of St. Joseph the Worker, which is celebrated on May 1st. In addition, St. Joseph is also revered as the patron saint of unborn babies, immigrants, and travelers. The feast day we are celebrating this week on March 19th has its origins in the Middle Ages. Sicily was experiencing a devastating drought, and the Sicilian people prayed to St. Joseph for rain. As the rain fell and the drought ended, church masses were held in his honor, altars were adorned with flowers, and huge feasts were prepared, all to show the people's appreciation to their patron saint, St. Joseph. With the Italian immigrant experience of the latter half of the 19th and first half of the 20th centuries came the tradition of honoring St. Joseph on March 19th in almost every Italian-American enclave in the New World. Masses are still said, Italian delicacies of all kinds are still prepared, but a strong Italian identity has accompanied the religious significance of the day in this country. Over the centuries, Italians in Italy have not forgotten the sacrifices St. Joseph made for his adopted son, nor his divine interventions. Here in the New World, in America, Italian Americans have added a sense of ethnic pride and cultural community to the religious significance of March 19th, the feast of St. Joseph, husband of Mary, earthly father to our Lord Jesus Christ. I wanted to keep my comments brief, but I wish everyone Buona festa di San Giuseppe.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much. Well said. Chairman Abney, and then we'll go to Representative Tanzi.
Thank you. Announcement, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
The governor's budget was introduced on Thursday. The House fiscal staff has published its first overview of what's in there so far. You should be receiving your copies by now. It has items of interest and brief summaries of budget articles. There will be a second, more expensive analyses next week, and the larger publication will be available after that. This is also available on the General Assembly website. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Representative Tanzi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I be recorded in the affirmative to the consent calendar? And then on item number 3, I may have missed voting, so I'd like to be in the affirmative for that as well if I'm not already.
So ordered on both.
Thank you.
Representative Constantino.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request on items number 5 and 6, affirmative.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Kislak. And then we'll go to Representative Shawcross-Smith.
Hi, yes, thank you. Pursuant to Rule 7D, on the following legislative day, I will have an act to present relating to health and safety.
Thank you, Representative. Chairwoman Ruggiero after Representative Shawcross-Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Rule 7D, an act related to background checks for children.
Thank you very much. Chairwoman Ruggiero.
May I be recorded in the affirmative for item number 4 on the calendar, please?
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative McLaughlin. And then we'll go to Representative Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson.
Announcement, Speaker.
Proceed.
I got interrupted when Chairman McNamara was doing a speech about the Irish, but I'd like to take this opportunity to wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day and also a happy St. Joseph's Day coming up, and it's very important to, and I don't know whether Chairman McNamara was aware of this, but Henry Ford was Irish. He invented the Ford Motor Company. The Irish built the railroads. Through persecution through the years, in 1853, 1.3 million Irish died in the Great Potato Famine. Okay, when they first came over here, there were signs all over New England. Believe it or not, Irish Catholics need not apply. Okay, dogs and Irish Catholic not welcome. Same way with many other nationalities. Okay, the Italians, their great contributions, and the French, the Portuguese, So it is a mixing pot, But Joe. The Irish invented a lot of things, built the railroads, okay, and made America great. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Chairwoman, thank you. Chairwoman Vella Wilkinson, and then we'll go to Representative Newberry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have a request and an announcement, please.
Proceed.
I request that my attendance be documented and my vote in the affirmative in item 1 on the consent calendar, please.
So ordered.
And for the announcement on the next legislative day, in accordance with Rule 7D, I will be introducing a bill relating to courts and civil procedures, causes of action. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Representative Newberry, and then Representative Norrie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With due respect to my constituents from Burrillville that live in the second best town in Rhode Island, in fact, the best town, as we've learned today, is North Smithfield. And in fact, the town of North Smithfield will be celebrating its 150th anniversary next week. We're much older than that. We have a lot of historic structures in our town, as we've learned also today, but we broke away from our overlords in Smithfield in 1871. So to celebrate that, I have a resolution that I have the permission of the minority leader, and I also have the permission and co-sponsorship of Majority Leader Blazewski, who had the good fortune to live the first part of his life in North Smithfield. Unfortunately for him, his parents tore him away for some reason, which was bad for you, probably good for your political career. I don't think you would do so well on the ballot in District 48, but that's okay. So with the permission of the two leaders, I'd like to have this submitted. And even though it is, in fact, the best resolution all year, I will not ask that it be read.
Thank you for that, and I must disagree with you. We all know that Warwick is really the best city in town in Rhode Island, but thank you for that anyway. Representative Norrie, and then we will go to Representative Place.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In accordance with Rule 7D, on the next legislative day, I will be introducing legislation relating to motor vehicles and other motor vehicles. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Place, and then Chairman Corvese.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In accordance with Rule 7D, on the next legislative day, I'll be introducing legislation dealing with education.
Thank you, Representative.
Thank you.
Chairman Corvese, and then Representative Giraldo.
Request for adjournment, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, it's with a very heavy heart that I would like to adjourn today's proceedings in the memory of Stephen A. Krull. Stephen Krull was 33 when he passed away much too early from this life. He was the son of Thomas and Catherine Cholfie and Stephen Krull. He was the nephew of Joseph Mollis and former Secretary of State Ralph Mollis. Stephen was an asset manager assistant for the Narragansett Bay Commission and served in the U.S. Army with the 82nd Airborne Division. Besides his parents, he left his fiancée, Amanda Musumeci, his brothers, Kristen Del Greco, his siblings, Kristen Del Greco, Laura Norton, Giovanna Cholfie, T.J. Cholfie, John Cholfie, Jesse Cholfie, and Nick Cholfie. He was a fine young man. He left us all too early, and he will be greatly missed, not only by his family, but by his many friends. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Chairman, and our condolences to him and his whole family, and as you as well. Representative Giraldo, and then Chairwoman Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd just like to ask to be marked in present for today.
Certainly, so ordered. Thank you. Chairwoman Williams, and then Representative Casimiro.
Request, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Pursuant to Rule 7D, I will be submitting legislation with law enforcement accountability.
Thank you. Representative Casimiro.
Two announcements, please, Speaker.
Proceed.
The first one is for this coming Saturday, March 20th, Joseph Walter Bucko will be turning 101 years old. He's a long-term member of the VFW Post 152 in North Kingstown, a highly decorated Navy veteran of World War II, and he served on the USS Burrough from December 1943 to 1945. Happy birthday, sir, and thank you for your service.
Thank you. Happy birthday. Thank you, Representative.
My second announcement is that this weekend is also a very special birthday for my nephew, First Lieutenant Sean Michael Kelly. He just returned from overseas. He's safely back in Camp Pendleton, so happy birthday, Sean.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Sean, and thank you for your service. Representative Morgan, Chairman Craven, do you want to speak? Chairman Craven after Representative Morgan.
Speaker, pursuant to Rule 7D, I will be submitting legislation on labor and labor relations minimum wages on the next legislative day.
Thank you, Representative. Chairman Craven.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 7D, on the next business day, I will be submitting legislation involving the crime of sexual assault. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Representative Nardone and then Chairman Solomon.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, an adjournment.
Proceed.
Yes, I'd like to adjourn in the memory of Katie Hill. Katie was passed away last week tragically at the age of 17 in an accident. Katie was from Situate and she went to Coventry High School. I had the privilege of knowing Katie through her years. Since she was 10 years old, I'd often see her with Rep. Catrocci's daughter. They were very good friends. And Katie was a very, very respectful young lady. She was very athletic. She loved animals. She would volunteer at the shelter, at the animal shelter. And it's a tragic loss. And I'd like to pay my condolences to her dad, PJ, who I'm very friendly with, her mom, Robin, and all her family and her extended family, friends. So I ask we adjourn in her name. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We're sorry for your loss and her loss and their family's loss as well. Whip Kazarian and after Chairman Solomon.
Thank you, Speaker. Announcement and request for an adjournment.
Proceed on both, please.
Okay, the House Committee on Corporations will be meeting at the Rise in room 35. We will be voting, so I would ask the members to be prompt. Additionally, I would request that we adjourn in memory of Thomas Gambardella, who died Tuesday, March 9th, at home, surrounded by his loving family. He was the husband of Mary Jo Gambardella and the son of late Carmine and Grace Gambardella. He was also the loving father of Michael Gambardella, Matthew, Regina Conley, Mark Gambardella, and he taught over at Hendricken for 18 years. He'll be dearly missed.
Thank you, Chairman. I know the Gambardella family. I know his brother Vinny, and it will be a great loss to that whole family. Our condolences to you and the whole Gambardella family. Thank you. Any other announcements or introductions? Whip Kazarian.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Pursuant to Rule 7D, on the next legislative day, I will be introducing a bill relating to public utilities and carriers. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative McLaughlin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and members of the Assembly. There's one thing I left out about the Irish, and just forgot about it at the moment. But among their greatest accomplishments of all the wars that have been fought for this great nation, okay, the Irish hold the Medal of Honor winners that have laid down their lives for this nation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There are no other announcements, introductions. Wait a minute. I was going to go to Lita Blazajewski, but now we're going to go to Chairman Casey. You guys have to use your lights so I know, because I'm looking at a board that there are no lights, and then we'll go to Lita Blazajewski.
My apologies, sir. I lost my laptop. So, according to Rule 7D, I would like to submit on the next legislative day a bill regarding tourism and development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman Casey. No other lights. The last light, Lita Blazajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Announcement, please.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our next House session will be next Tuesday, March 23rd at 4. We're not meeting on Thursday, so our next House session is next Tuesday, March 23rd at 4 p.m. here at the Vets. We're not meeting in session the rest of the week in order to continue to focus on our very busy committee schedule. To prevent overcrowding in the committee hearing room, sponsors should wait outside the room and clerks will notify you when it's time to testify in your bill. Chairs are set up outside the hearing rooms. When you're on WebEx preparing for a committee meeting to start, please be mindful that the Capitol TV microphone could unintentionally be on. It is best to mute yourself until the hearing begins. This applies to in-person meetings as well. Finally, if you request postponing a committee hearing on your bill, please remember that this must be done more than 24 hours before the hearing is scheduled. Bills can't be postponed with less than 24 hours notice. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Leader. I have House Resolution moved by Representative Newberry, seconded by Leader Blazajewski, joyously celebrating the 150th anniversary of the town of North Smithfield on March 24th, 2021. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you. I have a House resolution brought to us by Chairman McNamara and seconded by many others, commemorating the celebration of St. Patrick's Day. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The resolution shall prevail. I have another House resolution commemorating the celebration of St. Joseph's Day, brought to us by Chairman Corvesi and many others. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. I have a House resolution moved by Leader Blazajewski, seconded by Leader Filippi, extending congratulations. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. The resolution shall prevail. I have a House resolution expressing condolences on behalf of the House, moved by Leader Blazajewski, seconded by Leader Filippi. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. All the resolutions shall prevail. Is there any objection to transmitting all matters on the clerk's desk to His Excellency the Governor, the Honorable Senate, or the Secretary of State forthwith? Hearing none, so ordered. Leader Blazajewski moves that the House adjourn in memory of Thomas Gambardella, Stephen Cruwell, and Catherine Hill, seconded by Leader Filippi. All those please stand for a moment of silence. The House is adjourned. The desk shall remain open.
House Resolution commemorating the celebration of St. Joseph's Day. Whereas St. Joseph, holy patriarch and patron saint of workers, known by his deeds, was a man of quiet courage and deep faith who was tested in Nazareth, Bethlehem, and Egypt. And whereas humble yet noble, patient yet determined, St. Joseph accepted his burdens and bore them with dignity, all the while exhibiting an enduring strength as family patriarch, guide, and guardian during the most perilous of times. And whereas St. Joseph is celebrated by Christians around the world, from the tropical heat of the Philippines to the ancient thoroughfares of Rome to the storied walls of San Juan Capistrano, as the embodiment of family solidarity, a dedicated, humble, hardworking father and husband. And whereas on March 19th, the annual celebration of the Feast of St. Joseph, more than 2,000 years after his sojourn on earth, came to an end, Italian Americans and all others renew their efforts to emulate the just peace of a loving and beloved man, the wealth of faith, and the noble overcoming of adversity displayed by St. Joseph. And whereas Italians and Italian Americans celebrate the prevention of a Sicilian famine in the Middle Ages as a miracle attributed to St. Joseph. And whereas Italian immigrants to Rhode Island helped form the cultural foundation of our state, and today they sing the praises of St. Joseph as songs of inclusion, of strength tempered by faith, of sacrifice for family, and of the glorious gift of honest labor. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this House of Representatives in the state of Rhode Island hereby commemorates the celebration of the Feast of St. Joseph and the principles of his life celebrated. And be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to the Italian American Historical Society of Rhode Island. Adios.
Just the one?
Yeah.
Oh, you did the other, okay. House Resolution commemorating the celebration of St. Patrick's Day. Whereas St. Patrick, the apostle to Ireland, demonstrated the courage of his spiritual convictions by returning to the scene of his former enslavement and single-handedly assaulting the stronghold of Druidism. And whereas, wielding the devotion of his faith like a great sword of righteousness, and using the strength of his intellect and power of his passion, St. Patrick assimilated the ancient pagan Irish myths into a Christian message, and in so doing converted all of Ireland to Christianity during his lifetime. And whereas on March 17th, During the annual celebration of the Feast of St. Patrick, which began more than 15 centuries after his death, Irish Americans joined with men, women, and children of all ethnic origins who, for one day, become Irish and celebrate Patrick and his love of Ireland. Whereas on St. Patrick's Day, all who wear the green live for a day in the spirit of St. Patrick's, Bridget, and Cummerseal in the mythical wonders of Cuchulainn, Finn, Ossian, and Deirdre of the Sorrows. And whereas Irish immigrants to Rhode Island helped form the cultural foundation of our state, and Rhode Islanders of Irish lineage today proudly sing of their roots in Ballinamore and Ballinasloe, in Enniston and Enniscorthy, in Cavakeen, Castlebar, and Skibeen, and Skerries. Whereas the Song of Ireland are the tragic songs of love and the joyous songs of battle, the nostalgic reveries of the sorrows and glories that are the Emerald Island, in lamentation of life's myriad travels and odes to the joy and the life eternal. Now therefore be it resolved that this House of Representatives of the State of Rhode Island hereby commemorate the celebration of the Feast of St. Patrick, the patron saint of Ireland, and be it further resolved that the Secretary of State be and hereby is authorized and directed to transmit a duly certified copy of this resolution to the President of the Ancient Order of Hibernians, Rhode Island.